Hello again. Void Summer is still going on until the end of June. All that means is that you can still visit Shirt Clown and purchase a Void Signal shirt, mug, or hoodie, because I think the hoodie's back in stock now or something. Anyway, you can still order that stuff until the end of June and use code Void Summer to get 20% off your order and free shipping on orders over $35. It helps the podcast, helps me continue to do this thing, and it supports independent media. You can also visit voidsignal.net to not only find previous episodes and playlists full of banging music, but there's also a tip jar on there, so you can leave me a tip for your friendly, charismatic host. You can also visit the Void Signal Patreon and help support the show that way. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. I appreciate your consideration. I'm doing well. In case you were curious, I've just been a little busy with some real life things. Falling a little bit behind for a minute there, but I'm catching up on old invitations and, gonna start cycling some new blood through Void Signal in the coming months. So I'm so excited for you to find out who that's going to be and to share their music with you and who they are. But anyway, I hope you're well. Enjoy it. Love you. All right, cool. So, I wanted this here. I'm going to sit in this comfy chair.
Yeah, hell yeah.
This looks nice. But yeah, dude, I was up way too fucking late. Just like 4 something in the morning hanging out and shit. But how you been, man? Like, it's been a minute since I got to sit and talk to you. Like,
I've been good. Keeping busy. As you can tell, you kind of came in on show day.
Show day.
Yeah.
But it was, and I said this to you last night, but it was cool to like have the experience of meeting you when you're doing like Julian K tour.
Yeah.
And then sort of right after that, you started doing Matt Black stuff, and to just sort of watch that evolution through social media, because this was pre-pandemic when we met. To see that evolution of like, we're a new band, and now like sort of you guys have really come a long way.
Thanks. It's risky, right? I mean, it's almost like I don't know how to compare it. It's almost like you start a business in your 20s.
Sure.
And then that takes its course, and then you do it again in your late 30s, and you're like, oh, hey, I know how to get to point B faster than I did in my 20s.
Yeah.
Although it's risky to start a new band, new brand, project, everything that encompasses it, it's not easy, but, we definitely worked really hard to get where we're at in a short amount of time.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And you guys have been like really putting a lot of effort into the scene down here from the looks of it. Would you say that?
I would say so, yeah. I think to some degree we always did, to some extent. It's just, we just got better at it, A. Okay. B, there's a huge resurgence in industrial, goth, dark wave, post-punk. Sure. Like, I never would have thought it would be this cool.
Yeah.
Or this good,
Yeah.
I think, because more than anything, I'm a music lover first, right?
Yeah, same. Sure.
So, although my record collection, half of it is on the darker side of things.
Sure.
I still have, a lot of other things that I really love. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of indie rock. I'm a guitar player.
Yeah.
Even if I don't play as much guitar in Matt Black, I do, but I sneak it in there and it sounds like a keyboard. Yeah. But I remember certain scenes kind of coming and going, and I never thought, like goth and industrial is going to have this huge resurgence type of thing. So we're just like kind of riding the wave, and in a good way. Like, I don't want, I've always been there since the beginning. Yeah. But it's like, oh wow, I never thought like the crowd would be this big. Like, right. I remember playing in front of fucking 30 people.
Right.
Like pulling teeth to get someone to come out on a Tuesday night. It was insane. And now it's like just, I don't know if culture's just changed or it's open, or I keep saying, Wednesday Addams, became this huge show on Netflix, and it's like everyone wants to dance like her or whatever,
Yeah. I've heard other artists say this, and I tend to agree. Is that I'm curious to hear your thoughts, but that the pandemic was sort of a positive for the scene overall, because it forced people to talk and interact with each other and maybe seek new things.
Yeah.
So, and that's sort of why the scene is sort of proliferated. And I mean, nobody can point to evidence for this, right? Like, this is speculation and, conjecture.
Possibly.
Maybe, but I could believe that. That could make sense to me.
think some of my favorite, artists in this genre are very intrapersonal and very poetic. I don't know if people just had more time to think about themselves, take a look in the mirror, maybe.
Sure.
And maybe they just connected with a certain kind of art. Yeah, that's possible.
I mean, it was a depressing time. It was like a social depression.
Yeah, right?
To go through.
We were all in it together.
Yeah, we all got to go through a goth phase where we couldn't go out and had to stay home. So maybe that's what it is. The world is just more goth now in general.
It's a good way to look at it.
I do think the scene is blown up, like he said. Like, it's gotten so much bigger and so much more attention, which I think is a good thing. But I think that this is also a scene that, like, has kind of had issues with, like, gatekeeping.
I totally know what you're talking about.
Is that, like, a thing that you feel like what's your experience with that?
Yeah, there definitely is that. And I think it's, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings here. Sure. I don't want to sound like a complete asshole, but, I'll see some, I understand why there's gatekeeping. I understand why people are so, how do I say this? Music is my life. I wake up, it's music. I go to sleep, it's music. Mm-hmm. Everything I plan for the next 3 months is music. So I understand the level of commitment I have.
Sure.
I think some people level of commitment is the scene that they created. You have, older folks that have been around and, kind of like paved the way or, did it when no one was doing it. And
sure.
It's very personal to them. I think it's their thing. And now you have this new young blood who probably, doesn't know half the things they do or experienced half the things or struggle the way they did. And it's like, oh, you're going to come over here and take you're going to come over here and drink my water,
Yeah, sure.
So I get it in both sides.
Yeah.
So I understand, but I don't fit in either side. I'm an artist and I'm here to make music. And people who want to listen to it and experience it, they're more than welcome. Is there, train hopping and posers? Yeah, in every scene.
Sure.
I remember when Screamo got big. I remember when metal had, its thing. All these genres had their things, and you had people just jumping, on that train, and it's a normal thing.
Sure.
I think it's a healthy thing to some extent, and if there's any, really bad or negative things about it. Mm-hmm. Like, let's say it's creepy people or, it's always the dude that wants to come show up at the goth club and, like, hit on the girls. And, like, they're ousted pretty quick.
Okay.
At least in San Diego.
Gotcha.
Like, they don't last.
Okay.
Like, this community is pretty tight. Okay. So, I'm not worried about that, Mm-hmm. But I do remember standing in line. We have, like, I think we have a night here that's been around for 25 years called Sabat. And I remember it was... once in a while they throw it in a bigger place, like a 3-story place in downtown. Mm. And I remember people making line. They're like, oh, this is that fetish thing, right? Oh, I hope I get to see some ass. And it's like normies in line. Sure. Now I just wanted to punch them in the face. I'm like, dude, this is not for you. Like,
right, sure.
So like, if there's people, angry towards that, I get it. But if you're just trying to come and be a peaceful spectator, then that's cool with me.
Experience the thing.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I can appreciate that. I can appreciate the, like, well, we're not looking for these kind of people, right? And it's like, that's a thing that, especially given the sort of, that's a hard thing to differentiate, just because, like, goth culture and industrial shows and all that kind of shit is like, it's a concept. And, like, so we're all choosing to partake in it, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, I certainly don't have anything against, there's a question of, like, well, how do we attract cool people versus, like, shitty people, like the example that you gave. But it's been interesting to me to also see, like, the tourists of, like, I went to a V&V Nation concert in Reno forever ago. There was nobody there. It was a club in the middle of nowhere. Reno didn't really have much of a scene, but, like, had some, like, bros like go in there and have the best fucking time, like, dancing and I was like, I love to see that, but I think that it's like, I feel like the what you've maybe seen and experienced is maybe a little bit more of the, like, the shitty tourist of like, bro, goth chicks kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Has that been your experience more of? Like,
there is some of it, but I don't.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff.
Sure.
I just, I learned a long time ago that you be you and you do your thing and just do it right. That's it. I've been around the scene for such a long time now in music and playing in bands that your reputation is everything. The moment you do something really shitty, like especially nowadays, like you're not gonna get away with jack shit.
No.
Like you want to be clever and like be a womanizer or whatever. Like you're not gonna last, dude. No. You got to be a straight arrow here.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was different in the 80s or 90s where it's like there was like, hey, I don't know if some rock stars in the 80s were like, hey, here's $1,000 for you to keep your mouth shut or something,
Oh, that's you. The alarm.
Can you pause it?
Yeah, sure. Oh, no worries.
This guy's here to pick up a speaker.
Yeah. I remember what we were talking about. It's fine.
We were talking about like just the scene, how much it's growing, gatekeeping, and all that good stuff. I mean, maybe just to close out this part of the conversation.
Sure.
There's going to be good and bad things from the scene growing as much as it is right now. So we just got to do what we always do.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right. So you've been doing Matt Black for a minute. You guys are kind of starting to enjoy some success. What's next for you as a person, as Bidi Cobra, as a musician?
Matt Black is it, man.
The foreseeable future of like, you're happy with where you are.
Yeah, I think I've always kind of kept my hands full with 2-3 projects, or even DJing. I still DJ a lot, but I just don't make it the spectacle. Like, oh, come see me DJ. It's
sure.
Back in the days, it was like the DJ was up on a mezzanine.
Yeah.
You know, putting CDs or playing records, and no one was looking at him, and they were just there to dance and have a good time. Yeah. Somehow it became this whole rock star thing, right?
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, no, it is.
It's super rad, but I don't, that's not really my thing with the DJ thing. I just want to play rad stuff, put on rad events. The band that's where I want to like kind of shine a little, you know? Gotcha. Like, this is really, that's more me. Right. For sure, yeah.
Gotcha. Do you think that's kind of why you guys have played? Because you're starting to tour and travel a lot more. But I have noticed that you guys played like a lot of San Diego shows, which makes sense. You're all here. Like, yeah, that makes fucking sense. Support the local scene, right?
Yeah.
But is that kind of the reason? Is that a factor in that of like, we're gonna play local because we want to have a party and have people come have fun at like.
That's part of it.
A lot of people, kind of a thing.
That's part of the reason. I think we definitely are trying to build our market at home. And I didn't even know if we were going to be able to do that. Like, in our heads, it's like, we don't even know if we fit in.
Sure.
For as weird as that sounds, right? Like, we're like, a lot of like cool dark wave right now is really lo-fi and has this monotoneness to it, and not all of it, but like there's kind of a thing that it does. I don't know if we're doing that, so I didn't even know if we were going to be that cool. Sure. And for some weird reason, like, our town really likes us.
Right.
So we're lucky.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good, right? And sometimes it doesn't work out that way. I know a lot of friends that are in bands that are like, yeah, like our town hates us. Like, we have more success in Germany or England or New York, which is weird. Yeah, I know. A lot of it is we get to test things out. In the beginning of this project, there's so many components happening on stage, technology. We're running soft synths on Ableton, and then we're doing some hardware, and then there's guitar involved and bass. And I think playing at home and just working out the kinks, we didn't get really comfortable on stage, I think, until show number 4. Before that, it was a fucking nightmare, dude.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare to dial in our sound and to have our monitor, have anything good, and we were just fucking winging it.
Yeah.
So I guess doing it at home is a lot easier than doing it anywhere else.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, some of the recent live footage I saw, I was like, this production looks slick. Like, so it looks good, even if it was difficult to get it set up and everything.
Yeah. But like, and Alex is, he was a drummer before, so he's really coming to himself as a performer and a singer.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that evolution in him too, from going from being in the back to being in the front.
Right.
And that took several shows.
Sure.
So
what do you want the band to be? Like, if this is your foreseeable future, like, what do you kind of mentioned, like, a lot of lo-fi stuff and goth industrial is kind of growing. What do you want Matt Black to be?
Honestly, I know it's going to sound ridiculous, but because success has different levels, right? Like, I think what we've done thus far shows some level of success, but it's not my interpretation of success.
Okay.
I want it to at least be self-sustainable, because we all have day jobs and we all have responsibilities. I know it sounds like a boo-hoo story, like, oh, you just don't want to work. No, like, if I don't have a day off.
Right.
Like, we all have full-time jobs. Like, being on the festival circuit, or seeing this grow to a certain place where we're can just do this.
Yeah.
That, I don't even think of that. Even scratching that surface means that I'm loaded with cash. It's not about that. It's about putting my attention fully on this would be rad.
Yeah.
Because then you would just get the best out of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that might be a possibility. We're scratching the surface on soundtrack stuff right now.
That's cool.
We're about to announce some stuff. I can't announce it yet, but there's some sync deals, some stuff coming out in movies that we're working on, and we're doing some other like soundtrack work. Mm-hmm. Maybe that might work in our favor to where we could be like, okay, we can.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you've heard our stuff; it's already kind of cinematic in a way. So I think we're just figuring things out. Right. But getting on that festival circuit, to me, Matt Black, even though the goth, industrial, and dark wave scene has embraced us, like I really see it going everywhere. Like, techno world, in the techno scene, or just one of the alternative festivals where other bands play that aren't of our scene. Like, I could really see it, because we are a rock band too.
Sure. Yeah.
So we could definitely play with rock bands.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that I agree with you. And I think that's one of the things that I think is really great and interesting about the scene right now is that, like, you take a tour like the Danny Blue, Morris Black tour, like, it's an exciting show. Like, you're taking in an experience. So I think there's a lot of potential for crossover with, like, not just the Morris Black, Danny Blues, that kind of a thing, but like you said, the Matt Black of, like, getting on festivals and being exposed, because you never know where fire's going to catch, right? So it's like, maybe you do a soundtrack thing and somebody hears it and it, like, leads to this whole thing.
Yeah.
You play in front of a crowd of people who are into rock music and maybe don't know, and you touch some people in a way that is, like, special, and you make those lifelong fans, right?
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a really good thing, like, for the scene overall, and, like, I'm excited for you guys to sort of, like,
I think we have that crossover feel. Sure. I mean, it's not intentional, it's just what we do.
Right.
Like, Alex happens to have a pretty voice.
Yeah.
We write songs too.
Yeah.
And then we also write club bangers. Yeah. That are just distorted sounds, right?
Yeah.
So I think it has that potential to cross over, and, if Alex didn't have a nice voice and we didn't write songs, and we would, be those very noisy industrial rivet heads that are just tearing it up at the club every weekend, which is cool too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but we just happen to be in this position where, like, oh, this is cool, like, let's roll with this,
Yeah. And one other thing I wanted to comment on really quick is that you mentioned, like, wanting to make enough money for this to be, like, self-sustaining. I think this is I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this too, but my observation is that this is an industry full of workers, like people with 9-to-5s and people with, like, a lot of other things going on. I don't want to say service industry, but, like, I think there's a significant portion of the goth industrial sort of dark scene that are people who are, like, have jobs, have 9-to-5s, doing other things, doing other fucking jobs and stuff like this. And this is more of the passion project, the dream, the hobby kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Would you say that is your experience as well, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would say we're just, I would say that's very true. And at the same time, I want to say that we're trying to figure things out as a music industry in the whole.
Right.
It's just, there is no, like, I mean, people pay $10 a month on Spotify to listen to everything nonstop. Mm-hmm. That's a bad thing and the good thing too. And, there's just not a lot of money anymore in this industry unless you get those sync deals and the soundtracks, which fortunately enough we're scratching the surface on. Mm-hmm. But some of the best music came from that, from the blue collar. I mean, what was the story behind Wax Tracks? It was like the Rust Belt out there. Like, people were talking about what the fuck was going on, or punk rock scene. Like, it's just whatever was happening in London. It was just, like, super shitty.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know if beautiful art comes from people that are way too comfortable.
Oh, yeah. Okay. or at least that like I feel like it's like maybe a matter of time. Like maybe people don't have like the time to like sit and make art kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Anyway, that was just my thought. And maybe that's true of like all scenes. Maybe they're all like people who just fucking work all the time trying to fucking make it. But like I just felt like at least for our scene that like I see a lot of people that work like a lot.
Yeah.
Work hard. Like fucking two jobs or whatever and still trying to make music and shit.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you mentioned that like Alex couldn't be here today because of sickness, but he's also like got a family and like people have situations. People are parents and partners and got things going on. But I don't know. I find that often of like people who are like, I love this thing so much, and I think this kind of wraps back in to I'll end my rant there, but this kind of ties back into like the gatekeeping thing of like we love it, like this scene, this music style, and everything. Like we're into it because you and I are here because we love this thing, right? And so it's like, you can't really, it's not fair to be like, well, you don't love this thing as much as I do because you're not goth or you're a poser or whatever. Yeah. I mean, clothing is a costume, right? Like we're opting into this. Like we choose to wear black because we're damaged or mentally ill or whatever, right? But we're sending out the signals of like, I love this thing too. Yeah. Oh, do you as well? Cool. Like we can be part of this thing. So it's a thing we join, right? Yeah. So it's like, I feel like that should at least be enough to sort of like get people in the door of like, we all love this kind of a thing. Yeah. And so like, I think gatekeeping just kind of runs like counter to that a little bit of like, like other people are allowed to love the same thing as you, and I also totally understand that like, oh, I feel threatened by like how much somebody else loves something. Yeah. Because when you love it, you want to be protective of it. Like, oh, this is my scene. This is my thing that has given me so much. Yeah. So I totally get it. And I've experienced, people gatekeeping against me too. And I'm just like, good luck. Yeah. Yeah. What are you trying to stop me from doing me? Like, you're not gonna, like, this is real. Like, this is art. Like, and, I don't know, like, and there's only a couple of really severe cases that I've seen of people just being total assholes. Yeah. Because even like the gatekeepers, they're not that bad. Yeah. Okay. Only a couple, I don't want to say names, but sometimes, this is why the internet sucks. Sometimes, like, I'll just see people just ranting about, like, can you believe that this new poser in the scene, like, did this and did that, and, like, posting about it and, like, fueling their hate and energy, and I'm just like, dude, get a life. Yeah. Go on, have lunch with your friend and talk about art. Like, you're just in here, like, talking shit all the time. Shit, yeah. Do you know it makes you look like an ugly fucking person? Like, for sure. Sorry, I don't know how we got wrapped back around to. Dude, it's all good. This thing, it's all good. Just connections between things. So this, I'm so excited for you, man. Like, Matt Black is really like. I'm excited too. I think people are more excited than. Not that we aren't excited, but I think we're still grinding away at it so hard that it. And I told Alex this and Daniel. I said, you know what? This time around, I'm gonna stop and smell the flowers. Yeah. Yeah, because I think in the past I just never really allowed myself to like really enjoy it. Yeah. I mean, I did enjoy it, but didn't like really like take it in and be like, we accomplished something, you know? You seem more invested in this of like, this is my, It's my fucking baby, man. Yeah. Exactly. It's our baby. Yeah, the three of it's our baby, and I'm gonna celebrate it a little more. Sure. And dude, landing that like the show with Health, like that was fucking great.
That's fucking awesome.
When that poster came out, I was like, bro,
hell yeah.
I was so excited.
Legend.
Yeah, for sure.
We got a couple more of those coming up.
Nice. That's so
yeah.
Awesome. That's so awesome. I'm happy for you guys.
Thanks, man.
Because I'll be honest with you about this. This is a candid opinion. When I first, because I knew you before Matt Black was a thing, and then the first record came out, and I listened to it, and I was like, I really love this track, I really like this track, but I did, when it was over, and like the credits rolled on it, I was like, that was a good album, and I enjoyed it, but I had that sensation that I get sometimes with bands, and I'm, as a musician, I'm sure you get this too, and as a music lover, where you're like, this band is good, and I really like it, but man, I can't wait to hear like their next record.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that was the sensation that I got with like your first release, and I was like, dude, I can't wait to hear what they do next, kind of a thing. And it was like such a relief when Midnight Angel came out, and I was like, here we go. Like now we're fucking getting dialed in, and like these are people who have like the structure's built, they've hammered out the fucking kinks, and now like we're gonna start like seeing.
Oh, like, this next album is gonna be so good. Like, I mean, we definitely are getting better at what we do.
Mm.
And I think the mistake a lot of other bands make is that they're like, oh, they change way too much.
Right.
And they lose like their core fans. They're like, oh, what the fuck are they doing? Like, why did they change so much? We made the changes in the second album, but they're really cool changes.
Cool.
And then you're still going to hear Matt Black first album in it. Like the sounds, the aggressiveness. It's just better crafted.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
I mean, you've got your footing under you of like, oh, I got a better idea of what this thing should be. Right?
Yeah. It's exciting. Yeah, we're total nerds about like.
Yeah.
I mean, you're here in my studio. This is the mixing room, but the other room. I mean, we just love stuff.
Yeah.
We love toys. We love writing and composing, and it's its own experience too.
Gotcha. I'll ask this other question because I asked what you wanted out of Matt Black. And it was like, I want it to pay me to do it, right? Kind of a thing. I want to be paid to do the thing I love. I hope you do. I hope you get there. I hope more of us do, man. But what do you hope Matt Black accomplishes, as a musical project and as a musical entity? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, not tied to the financial, tied to, and you offered your own definition of success of like, oh, I get to paid to do the thing I love, but what do you want Matt Black to maybe accomplish? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to build a legacy in music. I wanted to, I don't know if it's fair to say, a good 5 records.
Sure.
I want us to stick around. We're only getting older.
Sure.
I don't know if I could be in my late 40s starting a new band. I think that this is the one that I want to build my legacy off of. So I want this band to last. I want for everyone to hear us. I want to do the European tours. I want to do Japan. I want to do South America. We're all Latinos. We all speak Spanish fluently.
Right.
I think if we were to go to Mexico or South America, I think we could have a really good run, connect with our Latin culture. The live show, like, we really probably look bigger than we are because we work so hard.
Sure.
Like when you see the visuals or like the live the shows or even the live videos, like we're there for 2 days.
Yeah.
And we collaborate with lighting director, we collaborate with engineers on site, and we really work hard to make this bigger than what it is.
Taking it seriously.
Yeah. So I think if this band was to get bigger, like that would just get bigger. Like the experience would get bigger.
Okay. And do you, I want to touch on, you mentioned being Latino. Do you think that's a well that has the possibility to allow you guys to be maybe a little bit more transcendent, of like, maybe we can get some people of color into a scene that maybe they weren't interested in before, or tapping into an audience that's there that maybe other bands, your contemporaries, have not?
Surprisingly, on our Spotify, it shows us our demographics, like where people listen to us the most, and Mexico's like on our top 3.
Oh, really?
And keep in mind that, we kind of talk about it a little bit, being Latino, but we don't sing in Spanish.
Yeah, I was gonna say
we look pretty American, like the way we dress. Like, we're not like very roots. Our music doesn't have Latin flavor to it.
Sure,
it just happens that that's where we come from. But I think that if people dig into it, like, let's say Mexico, Latin America digs into it, like, Google searches who are these guys, and they find out that we're all like pretty fluent speaking Spanish people, like, might give them a sense of pride, they might support us a little more. But I think at the end of the day, it's the music speaks for itself.
Okay.
The music has to speak for itself,
Gotcha. Because you're not, I mean, that makes sense, because like you're not sort of using it as like, this is a cultural representation of anything. Like, this is more, you guys are exploring themes that are not tied to culture. I guess. So, okay.
But I mean, you hang out with us, you'll see it. I mean,
sure.
We forget that we break out in Spanish.
Oh, okay.
And we forget that we're talking Spanish in front of non-Spanish speakers, and then we kind of turn around like, oh shit, we should probably turn back to English, because we're probably being a little rude right now.
Sure.
Here's another goal that I have, and you kept me thinking about it, because you said on the more artistic side of things. So I am going to publish a book of lyrics and poetry.
Okay. All right.
I'm one of the key writers in Matt Black. I mean, I write with Alex. We write together.
That was my next question. I was going to be like, how involved are you in the lyric writing? I mean, obviously, lots if you're going to do a book.
I mean, Alex, when he had a project called Buy an Ion that was just him. At one point, he had another partner, and he did a lot of the writing and stuff. But I've been writing since I was like in high school, like binders of poetry and screenplays and short stories. That he always loved my writing, and he's like, dude, can you please help me with like the writing part of this? Like, you're just better at it.
Right.
But it's not necessarily me writing it all. It's we sit down and conversate like this.
Sure.
Explore this theme of heartbreak, and I like these words. Check out these syllables that I kind of he hums something, I hum with him, and we're best friends. So like all these themes are things that we've experienced in life. So then I take from his life and I take from my life, and we just kind of like put it on paper.
Right.
And it's great because I mean, even when I was in Julian K, I wrote a couple songs. Some of those were my lyrics, and just for someone like Ryan or anyone else to just allow me to write is such an honor, because they could play that role as like, hey, fuck you, I'm the singer. Like, these are my songs.
Yeah,
I write the songs. Sit the fuck down. Go to the guitar.
Go do whatever you do. For sure.
It's and that's how it is with Matt Black. It's an open game.
Mm-hmm.
You want to write the drum beats, bring it.
Yeah.
Or you want to, write the synth parts, or you have an idea for a song.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel brought some songs to the table, and, he ended up writing guitars on them because he's just a great guitar player too.
Yeah.
I could have been like, hey, motherfucker.
Yeah, I play the fucking guitar.
Stick to the bass. I'm like, dude, that sounds rad. Let's keep it.
Yeah.
I have an idea for the bridge. Here, let me lay it down. It's kind of like a fair, but also like open game type thing. But,
that's awesome. Lyrics and poetry. That's fucking sweet.
Yeah, I'm a fucking nerd, dude. I write.
Yeah. Nice. No, I went to school for creative writing in college.
I love it.
It was like, I get you there. Like, there's I do love it, even if I'm not very good at it, but that's okay.
I don't think I'm good at it either. That's why I'm a musician.
I'm glad it worked out for you, man. That's why I'm a podcaster. So, there we go.
Get it?
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. That's fucking sweet. I'm so glad. I'm so happy for you and excited. The last question I'll put to you is just, what's something that you've been enjoying lately? Just, it could be a movie, book series, TV series. Just what's something that you're excited about when you get up? Video game, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I do watch like certain shows, but I'm not the guy that goes home and watches 8 hours of TV.
No, me either.
But I was definitely into like House of the Dragon.
Okay.
The Last of Us, all that stuff. I'm falling in love with guitar again.
Okay. So that's like what you're excited about is like, I want to sit and play your guitar.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, it's full circle. I started off as a guitar player, and then electronic music kind of took over my world, and synthesizers. And I was like, yeah, this is more cool. But, I've been buying really cool pedals. I have really couple of nice guitars, and I just sit, I'm literally on YouTube researching, like, what kind of wood is this?
Yeah, right.
How come these pickups are better than those? How come I don't have them? That's taking up a lot of my time. That, and I mean, as you can tell, like you're here on day of a show that we're doing here in San Diego. So I love doing shows, even if I'm not the main attraction. Like I'm just the guy behind the scenes. Yeah,
just being around live music.
Yeah,
I get you there for sure.
Fuck yeah.
So just wanting to play more guitar and stuff. Like, what made you? Was that the first instrument you learned?
Yeah, not only that, but I've been working at a guitar center for the last year and a half.
Yeah.
And I know, the typical, guitar centers, the corporate, it's not, whatever, but I work at a really, really cool one where there's a lot of great musicians that work there, and we're one of the bigger ones, so we get a lot of, like, we'll get some boutique stuff.
Yeah.
We'll get some, like, stuff that is interesting. Like, I just got a Reverend guitar, and those are straight out of, like, Detroit.
Yeah.
And the craftsmanship is amazing, and they're priced at a very fair price. Like, I can tell this company cares and they're not greedy.
Right.
Because the quality of that guitar could easily be over $2,000, and I didn't pay even half of that.
Right.
And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'll support this company now. Yeah. I've always been a Fender guy, but I'm like, I'm going to support this company because they care. And not only that, but, it makes my job easier as a producer. Like, it sounds great.
Yeah.
It works great in the studio and live. Right. It's comfortable. Like, this is going to last me 5 tours.
Right. And do you think that gives you an edge when it comes to your own musicianship as well as Matt Black's production? Is that because of this expertise, you're able to sort of, what you're looking for, what you're shopping for. Oh, this is a quality product, and I don't have to spend. Matt Black is not a band that paid to win, sort of. Does that make sense? Like, oh, we bought all the best shit. It's more about like, no, I had the eye to sort of pick out like this.
Oh, definitely. Like I'm the gear guy here.
Yeah, because like you said, as a producer, like you're saving a lot of time by like, oh, I don't have a bass that sounds like shit, or I don't have a guitar that sounds like shit. You have like quality products.
Yeah, but it took a while.
Yeah, for sure.
It took me 15, 20 years to like be like, okay, I can afford this stuff now.
Right. And plus you have the eye for it now too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I know now. Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely a blessing for sure, yeah.
Cool. Okay, but you would say that that's like a huge asset of like, oh, now that I know what I'm looking for, like it's paid off.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Even live, like our lives are so much more comfortable with our live setup.
Cool.
I mean, I did months of research on how we're going to pull this off live. I mean, we all did.
Yeah.
But, with the routing and like our in-ear mix, and this is like technical talk, I get it, but like I was really, really happy with the outcome. Like, okay, we can do this and not cry at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Thinking we sound like shit.
Right. So doing your research for it has.
Oh, hell yeah.
For sure.
For
okay.
Sure.
Cool. That's a good answer. I'll answer as well. I was, answer what I've been enjoying lately. This has been a wonderful week, man. Like I drove down from Reno, to catch the Morris Black Danny Blue tour, and I'm staying with Shane and Vanessa Song.
Yeah.
They are wonderful people. I've been their house guests. We had a big barbecue yesterday, like the Void Summer Party.
Nice.
JP and Jen from Rabbit Junk came down, and it was a blast, man. It was such a fun time. And now I got to like come down here to the studio and see you, and I'm gonna be here for this thing tonight.
Oh yeah, this is nice. It's different. Yeah. I think our last interview was like over the phone. This is way better. Like
this is way better. I agree.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, man, this has been a fucking wonderful trip.
Hell yeah. You're gonna have more fun tonight. Watch.
Yeah. I can't wait, dude. This has been wonderful so far. But that's what I've been enjoying lately. It's just like that's present on my mind. It's just like what a blast I'm having. So. Well, thank you so much for your time, man, and like it's so good to see you. Like I'm gonna be rubbing elbows against you the rest of the night. But, That's all I got for you as far as questions.
Fuck yeah, dude. It was a blast.
Thanks, man.
Enjoyed it.
Void Signal intro and outro music courtesy Processor. Visit processor2.bandcamp.com for more Processor, and visit voidsignal.net to help support the creation of more Void Signal. Thank you.